And we are chatting to Taryn Hayes. She is the author of a new exciting book, Seekers of the Lost Boy. Good afternoon to you, Taryn.
Hi.
Tell us about Seekers of the Lost Boy. It's an interesting theme.
Yes, it's a story for children, mostly between the ages of 8 and 14 years old, set in Cape Town. Starts when a young boy called Simon, who's 12, finds a bottle on the beach in Muizenberg Beach and discovers a message inside it. And the message ends up leading him and his family on quite a journey, exciting journey. There's adventure, there's intrigue and questions that need to be answered. And the big question is, who is God and does he care about me? And the family seek to find the answer to this question as well as the person who wrote the letter.
Right. Now the book obviously explores the history of District 6. Is the story fiction, or do you actually have real characters in it?
It is predominantly fiction. The history that the book explores is not fiction. So while the characters who have experienced what happens in District 6 themselves are fiction, many of the events that are described were actually real events. There is one character in there that plays a minor role, who's a very real-life character today, and that's the Reverend Frank Retief, who for many years was the minister of St. James Church in Kenilworth, the one that everybody knows from the news because it was the church that went under the massacre, the St. James Massacre in 1993. So he features in a small way in the story.
Right. Now, reaction from kids that have read the book?
It's been very positive, which is great. I've read the book to a bunch of kids, so it was really nice for me to have a first-hand experience watching their faces as I read it. And at one point, one of the 12-year-old boys was so excited about the next step in the story that he was banging the floor with his fists and kicking with his legs. Just I couldn't wait for the very next chapter to begin. So that was very rewarding for me, and clearly they quite enjoyed it.
Now, you ask one question in the book, or the character asked, basically the writer of the letter, who is God and does he care about me? I mean, that is quite a statement in a question.
Absolutely.
And do you answer that in the book?
Yes, I do. I do very much so, and answer it from a Christian perspective. So you can expect that when you've read that story to have a very clear understanding of what the Christian perspective is about God and what the Bible has to say about who God is and whether he does indeed care about us.
Now, Taryn, your own writing experience, where did that came from?
I have never written a novel before. This is my first one. I've always enjoyed writing. I've written stories and various since I was a child. It's one of those things that has just been a great enjoyment for me. But I've never written in a very serious capacity. No journal articles, no magazine articles that I've written myself. But I have been an avid blogger for many years. Since 2007, I've kept a blog about my experiences as a parent and as a homeschooling mom particularly. So I've had a lot of practice writing, but not necessarily in this kind of field. So I am new at it, so I'll test the audience to see what they think.
How do you write? Do you have a system that you write to?
Again, I'm a complete newbie at it, so I don't even know if I can answer that question properly. I can say for this book, I just wrote. It was, the story kind of grew in my head, and I was always planning on just writing it for my children. And it grew and it grew and it grew until the point I had to start writing it down, otherwise it would have just consumed me. And so I just wrote. There was no structure, there was no outline. I didn't do what many authors are advised to do by putting up character outlines and planning your chapters ahead. I just wrote the book as it came, which means that you have to go back and do quite a bit of hard work in the editing process. But that's how I wrote this one. I'm not sure how I'm going to write the next one or the next one that may come after.
Excellent. Now, Taryn, I presume the book is on the shelves?
It is, according to my publishers. It's out there and should be in most of the major stores. I've seen it on some of the websites already, Exclusive Books, Kalahari, and Christian Book Discounters has it. So they're all over South Africa as well, and they also ship from their website.
Taryn Hayes, thanks for talking to us, and good luck with Seekers of the Lost Boy.
Thank you very much.